Hello, my beautiful light beings. Yes, you are the change America has been waiting for. Yes, my brothers and sisters, there is a movement in this country. There is a movement afoot to treat all human beings with love and respect and kindness, for human beings to be put before money, for love to be the order of the day. That if the government is made up of people, then the government should treat the people with love, because the government is nothing but people. You see, for too long, government has been run as though it's some kind of separate elite group, as though the rest of humanity were nothing. And every human being is important. Every human being is valuable. We want to see that ideology put into practice in America. We want to see human beings treated with dignity and kindness. We want to see homeless people being taken off of the streets to be given help, homes, money, education, jobs, whatever it is that they need, because that's what needs to happen. We need America to be run more locally. You know, if each local district were given the necessary resources, each local neighborhood could accurately account for what everyone in the area needed. Think about that. If instead of government running on all these guesses, if they knew exactly what everyone needed, because everyone was actually, involved. I mean, we're all involved. So why shouldn't we be involved? Why shouldn't we have a say in our own government? I mean, look, right now, what's going on is so disappointing. The Trump administration has said that the Epstein list never existed. And we all know, of course it did. Of course it did. Of course it did. Of course it does. And this is what happens with government. Every time someone comes into office, every time, without fail, left or right, they come in, they lie. They lie. They get in on lies. And we don't know it's lies at the time. When Donald Trump ran, what did he promise us? He said, no more Middle Eastern wars. Jeffrey Epstein, we're going to get him, the list. We're going to put it out, and we're going to solve these problems. And now, what's going on? What's the first thing Donald Trump does? He goes to war with Iran, an illegal war with Iran for Bibi Netanyahu. Oh, it hurts. It just hurts, okay? And then there's no Epstein list. Oh my God, it hurts. But you know what? You are the hope that America prayed for. You, the men and women who are standing up in love for their fellow citizens, who are saying, no more of this nonsense. We don't need politics. We don't need ideology, okay? We got one principle, one guiding rule. Love. Love. Okay? It's simple. Okay? Love. Okay? Like a 5-year-old could figure it out. And the truth is, it is that simple. A 5-year-old could figure it out, because Love is the order of the day. Love is exactly what is needed. Love is what will save this country. And we want this country to be saved. You know, I've been watching since 9/11, since I was a young man, I've been watching as this country goes deeper and deeper down a dark road that leads to very evil places. You know, the first war in Iraq, the Gulf War, was dark enough. You know, the highway of hell, literally incinerating Iraqi soldiers and their tanks and cars, leaving such a demonic wreckage that the incinerated bodies of the Iraqi soldiers were literally unrecognizable. So that was a horror show. And Madeleine Albright, when asked about the some million children that they killed in Iraq, she said it was worthwhile. And now I want to tell you something, and I want you to hear me very clearly when I say this, that there is nothing worth the life of 1 million children. I can't believe I need to say this. Okay? There's nothing worth the life of 1 million children. No military goal, no agenda is worth you taking the lives of 2 million children. And so we just need a different kind of leadership, because right now we have the kind of leadership that thinks in terms of we have a goal and it's acceptable to murder 1 million children to accomplish that goal. Okay? Like, I can't believe I need to say this, but we need leadership that recognizes that it's never worth murdering 1 million children to achieve anything. That anything that you can't achieve without murdering 1 million children, you know, it's not worth achieving, you know? And what happened to diplomacy? What happened to diplomacy? We know, you know, diplomacy works. Negotiations work. What we want to see, what we're standing up to call for, is a return to sanity. A move away from the madness, from the dark heart, from the black heart of insanity, okay? The heart of darkness beats in Washington, D.C. The heart of darkness pounding relentlessly. Boom, 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 boom. The black heart of darkness. And when you look into the black heart of darkness for long enough, what do you see but the blazing light? And so you are standing as the blazing light in the darkness. Yes, you are a lighthouse blazing on the brilliant sea. And your light shines bright. And you illuminate the world with your light. And your light shines on me. And the fire that ignites you ignites me. And we stand together, brothers and sisters, united by a common cause. That common cause is morality and decency. Our common unifier, our humanity. We are human beings. We are all part of one human family. We don't want to see any of our human family murdered. Okay? I love Iranians, North Koreans, Syrians, Palestinians, Yemenis, Saudi Arabians, Iraqis, Libyans, Somalis. There are no bad guys. There are no bad guys. Okay? We have a complex problem, but we have a simple solution, okay? You learned it in kindergarten, okay? Just think back. You know, everything you needed to learn, you learned in kindergarten. You know what I'm saying? Okay? We know how to make people work together as a group. We know how to unify people. We know how to take care of people. We know how to build countries. You know, America rebuilt Europe after World War II. So we know how to build. But we haven't been building. And you know what I want to see in this country is I want to see construction as far as the eye can see. I want to see buildings and construction work, and I want to see infrastructure being improved. I want to see the water improved, you know, guys. I want to be able to drink the water, okay? And the water is undrinkable, and when we can't drink the water, that's something that is a tragedy, you guys, because the water is filled with fluoride, okay? So why would there be fluoride in the water? It's a neurotoxin, guys. It's a neurotoxin, okay? So why would there be a neurotoxin in the water that literally grates away at your will and makes you less intelligent, okay? So why would that be that there is fluoride in the water, okay? What kind of government are we dealing with, okay? And so there are malevolent forces in the U.S. government, and they need to be weeded out, okay? This is a revolution. This is a revolution. We demand human beings be treated with love. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal and endowed through their own creation of themselves with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of justice and happiness. Okay? Truth is yours. Truth is yours. Our right as the public is the truth. Our inheritance is the truth. We are sons and daughters of inheritance. This earth is our inheritance. This place is meant to be a joyous and abundant classroom where people can learn and people can enjoy their spiritual experience, you guys. Okay? We want to see people relieved of the burden of this feeling like they're going to sink. Like, how come everybody works their whole life And yet they know that they're like one bad month away from total destitution. You know, even the wealthiest of person can become literally destitute within a month or two in America because of government targeting, taxes. You know, the government is criminal and illegal. Okay, the government constitutionally has no right to borrow money from a private bank at interest and then charge us taxes and say we have to pay the interest. Okay? That is totally unconstitutional and criminal. And Woodrow Wilson admitted that when he created the Federal Reserve, that he turned America from a free nation into a nation of slaves. Okay? And so we don't want the Federal Reserve. This is a revolution. The Federal Reserve is illegal. The Federal Reserve is criminal. The Federal Reserve is a terrorist organization. Okay? All poverty comes from loaning money at interest. Okay? This has been proven time and time again throughout history. When the founding fathers started the revolution wasn't started because of a tax on tea. This is a lie. Benjamin Franklin even tells us so. It's a total lie. And the truth is that the reason the colonists started the Revolutionary War is because King George outlawed the colonial currency and demanded that they borrow money in British sterling from the Rothschild Bank. Okay? And so the colonists would have gladly paid the tax on tea, according to Ben Franklin. And it's so terrible when you learn that the founding fathers, Ben Franklin, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, all of them were British lords. That's right. They were esquires, which means a lawyer. But to be a lawyer, let me just put this down for 1 second. But to be a lawyer, guys, just have to pull my pants up here. Pants are falling down, okay? But to be a lawyer, guys, they had to be British lords, okay? Because you couldn't be a British lord. You couldn't be a lawyer unless you were a British lord. You weren't going to just become a lawyer in Britain unless you were already in the aristocratic class. There weren't poor carpenters becoming lawyers. The law was practiced exclusively by British lords. And so even our beloved revolution, guys, it's just an abomination. But I'll tell you something, have no fear, have no doubts. Be positive, because you are the change that America has dreamed about. For 30 years, since 9/11, I dreamed of a time when Americans would stand together with one another in love for their brothers and sisters and say, we don't care about race, we don't care about religion, we don't care about country of origin. What we care about is people. What we care about is each other. Okay? And there's just so much hatred towards immigrants. My father is an immigrant, okay? So I love immigrants. I love my father, okay? Immigrants are just people. I mean, I can't believe I need to say this, but the discourse in this country is so, so negative towards immigrants that when I say immigrants are people, literally people lash out at me. But I don't care. I'll say I love immigrants. And, a lot of people will tell me that I'm being divisive. And I just am myself. I just encourage you guys, just be yourself, okay? Some people are going to get offended. What are you going to do? Not be yourself? Then you're going to blow a gasket, okay? So literally, just be yourself, and whatever happens, happens. And just know that the right energies will always prevail. And so what we have here in this country is a situation where, true patriots are standing up and saying, we need change. And it's not about this psyop, this fake psyop called Q. That's an Israeli psyop. And you can look up the study that literally all of it, all the servers, everything, all of the messages, they come from Tel Aviv, the 4chan servers. Guys, it's a psyop designed to get you to do nothing while Trump conducts an illegal war against Iran for Bibi Netanyahu. Okay? And now I know a lot of people aren't going to like that I said that. And so if I picked the side, I would be much more popular. And that's the thing. They're always going to tell you to pick a side. Now, I will tell you something. All of the power is found in not being on a side. Okay? You are a free agent. You are the change that America has dreamed of. Okay? We are the storm. We are the storm! Not some fake psyop. We are the storm! The revolution is now! We are the storm, okay? And what is it in the eye of the storm? Calm, baby. It's calm. We cool. We coolin'. We coolin' like a villain. We coolin' on penicillin like Bob Dylan. We all winning. It's all love, baby. And I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for you. You know what? This is just such a special time, and you're such a special individual, all of you, because this time has made you that way. That no one is the exact same combination of ingredients. You're all so special. I mean, just think about it. Each human being is such an eclectic mix of special ingredients. And your mother and your father, or whoever raised you, they put so much love and so much kindness into raising you. They gave you so much love. And all that love, it multiplied. And over time, it became a person. Became a grown human being. And I just am so privileged to be able to speak to you. I am grateful just for the privilege of being able to speak to you. And yes, I see it as a privilege. I'm grateful to be able to speak to you. I'm grateful to have a platform, to be able to have my voice heard. And that is what America is about. Freedom of speech. And we still have freedom of speech, even though it's difficult. There are consequences for your speech. There are consequences. Believe me, I've suffered plenty of consequences from my speech. And we have some lovely flowers over here. Do you see that, guys? Just such lovely flowers. And let's look at them. And let's get a look at these lovely flowers. Yeah, guys, I've suffered for telling the truth, for being myself. And you know what, guys? I would do it all over again, guys. Because do you know that every time you're tested and you stick by yourself, you don't need to lash out at anyone, you don't need to hurt anyone. When you just stand in your strength, it is so powerful. It is so beautiful. You know, I wouldn't be here today without so many people. So many people were so kind to me and so gracious, and they treated me with so much love and so much tender care. And I'm telling you guys that when you show people love, you don't know where that person is coming from. You don't know how much that love means to them. You don't know if that love is stopping them from, jumping off a bridge. You don't know if that love is keeping them from that first drink. Maybe they're an alcoholic, and literally, if they get set off, they're going to go have a drink. But instead of having a drink because you showed them love, they went home and they cooked dinner for their children, okay? You know what I'm saying? Instead of going home and having a drink and then beating their wife, they went home and they cooked dinner for their children because you showed them some love, okay? You have so much power. You have so much power, and you have the ability to alter the world. And when you go about your daily life, when you show love and kindness, you're engaged in a revolutionary act. That's right. Oh, the lights went out on the selfie stick. That's right. There's lights on the selfie stick, and now they are off, and we're in the dark, guys. We're in the dark, okay? But you are the lighthouse, and you are shining on me. And so, guys, I want you to really open your hearts. To open your hearts and your minds, and to dare to dream of an America that looks different than it does today. I dare you to dream of an America where we have first-class water, where the water in America is literally the envy of the world. That's right, because what do we know? What's the most important thing? Water. Water's the most important thing. Okay, water is the essence of life, guys. What you drink is so important, okay? So why isn't the water good, guys? Okay, so I dare to dream of an America where the water is first class, where Switzerland, with their pristine spring water, where they literally envy us, okay? Because yes, and there are raccoons scurrying in the bushes, guys, okay? Because we're out at night in New York City, guys. All kind of monsters lurking. All kinds of monsters lurking. But you know what? We're monsters too, okay? And we're gnashing our teeth. Arr, 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 arr. Okay, guys? Because we ain't gonna take it. We ain't gonna take it. You ain't gonna take it anymore. No, we ain't gonna take it anymore. So you are standing in love for your brother and your sister, standing in love with these high spiritual principles. Because what is the only principle you need to live your life? Literally, the only principle. The golden rule, you guys. The golden rule. It's all you need. And so what did Jesus preach? The golden rule. And it's not, for those that are, that this is for everyone, okay? I'll just say it like that. This is for everyone. The golden rule literally is the highest spiritual principle. The golden rule. Treat others as you wish to be treated. You know? And it's not some masochistic thing where, you want to get like whipped and beat, so you whip and beat other people, okay? It doesn't work like that, okay? All right, nice try, okay? You gotta be nice to people, okay? You can't whip and beat them, okay? All right? Unless they give you permission, unless you're consenting adults and you're whipping each other in the in the in the sanctity of your matrimonial bedroom, or whatever you might want to call it, your love abode. Okay, guys, we're talking about government, and we're talking about how you are the change that America has dreamed of. Because we've been dreaming of it for a long time. Growing up, my parents, they're from the 60s. My father, he was born in 1946 in a refugee camp, Degendorf. My grandparents, they were in the Polish uprising. They broke out of prison camps multiple times. Revolutionaries. Okay. Yeah, sound familiar, guys? Yeah, because, guys, look, I love America. I'm not doing this because I hate America. I'm doing this because I love America, guys. I love this place. You know what I mean? I've lived here my whole life. I love this country. I love the people. Love all the people. Because, it's so funny that there is a group of people, progressives, that act like America is this racist place. Because I've lived in America amongst people of different races my whole life in New York City. Every single background that you could imagine, I grew up with them. And I don't look at anybody from any background any differently. I look at you all the same, my brothers and sisters, my beautiful brothers and sisters. And, so when this movement in 2010, 2011, this progressive movement started, which really, I think, already what went on with Bush had already taken the country in a very negative direction. And then this progressive movement, wow. Starting in around 2011, everything you said became a problem. Everything you said was a problem. It was racist, or it was sexist, or it was classist. And this is, of course, a Marxist war tactic, because they believe in the war before the war. And so what is this? This policing of speech. When you're thinking of what you have to say, if you're thinking about what you have to say, that's a problem. You know what I mean? If you have to think about what you're going to say in terms of policing your own speech, that's a real problem. In America, we do have secret police. So you can say whatever you want. Like, literally, words come out of my mouth, no one can stop them. So, words come out of my mouth and nobody can stop them. That's freedom of speech, okay? So, what we want is total freedom of speech. We want, corporations to have to recognize our freedom of speech. We don't like this with YouTube and Twitter and TikTok, where we have these community guidelines. It's really absolutely disgraceful. So they managed to find a way to take speech out of the traditional venues so that now all of our First Amendment rights somehow, according to them, don't apply. And I never understood this, because I don't understand why Mark Zuckerberg, and we know it's not Mark Zuckerberg, it's the Department of Defense that runs Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. They're all intelligence agency venues, guys. This is the infrastructure of the prison, the Black Iron Prison. And now, to explain to you the Black Iron Prison, it was conceptualized, it is to to put it in terms that really make it clear, it is the bars of the Saturnian prison of the Roman Empire extended out over history, of Babylon, its towers standing tall, the Black Iron Prison is the bars of the prison. Yes. And so if you want to understand it, it's a complex idea, but it is essentially the Roman authority never ended. And so as time doesn't exist, the bars of this Roman authority extend outwards all around us. And so that's strange, guys. The church bell just went off. I don't know if I guess they go off at 2 in the morning. Strange, guys. But obviously we were meant to be here with each other, and I'm happy to be with you. And so I will say this, guys, I'm happy to be with people that will acknowledge that the Epstein list is real. Because indeed, the Trump administration says that the Epstein list is not real, and it's surreal. And so what else do we have that we can talk about, guys? You know, we can also talk about how doctors have been talking about the biomedical control system, you guys. You know what I'm referring to, the medical procedure that's not a medical procedure. And so doctors, there was a cancer doctor, an oncologist, who was in a room full of other cancer doctors, and he asked them to raise their hand if they'd seen a sudden and rare and unexpected increase in cancers. And half of the room raised their hands. And so, guys, I don't want to be negative. There's no reason to be negative, guys. This is the greatest time in history, as far as I can tell, guys. You know, that I've never existed in a better time. I'm 38 years old, and this is the greatest year, hands down, I've ever experienced. Every year, you know, you say, oh, it's going to be a good year, it's going to be a good year. And, you know, there have definitely been some great years, guys. But this one, guys, it's the greatest. 2025 is 1776, guys. We won't take it anymore. You know, we're throwing the tea in the river. We're standing up. We're revolutionaries, and we're not afraid. And you see, we don't use guns. This isn't a pow, pow, pow revolution. No, it's not that easy, okay? This is a difficult revolution, okay? You know, you studied Martin Luther King, you studied Gandhi in school. They taught you about Martin Luther King. And so nonviolent civil rights activism is the highest form of protest. So this is the highest form of national service that anyone can do. And so together, we're standing and we're disobeying. And so we will do this through all kinds of tactics. And we may need to occupy the railroads and the post offices. You know, whatever tactics we may use, nonviolently and peacefully. And so I'll say this much, guys. During the Russian Revolution, they occupied the railroads and the post offices. And through that, they were able to cripple the government. And so I theorized that same tactic would work in America. that essentially, if we as a mass of protesters locally took over the post offices, essentially, and even peacefully, nonviolently, I want to say that a second time, protesters could even occupy the police stations. And, we're talking about occupying the occupiers, guys. Occupying the IRS offices. Occupying, the offices of these people. And so I condemn in the strongest terms, that there's been talk of protesters shooting at ICE agents. And I condemn that in the strongest terms. And I believe that those are actually government agents sent to make the protesters look bad, to cause chaos. And we know in COINTELPRO that the government sends agitators. And you probably saw the clip from the George Floyd protests where there was a guy in a black raincoat and he just walked up to the windows and started smashing them like he'd literally been told what to do ahead of time. And so protests are highly manipulated. And so that's why, as a community of people that are engaged in a revolution, because yes, the revolution is now. They're not going to tell you the revolution is now. You can go on Twitter and you can go to many multiple spaces where you will hear people talking about these things, okay? They're not talking about Democrats and Republicans. They're not talking about heroes and saviors. The people aren't talking about heroes and saviors, okay? The people know that all the heroes and all the villains are manipulated. The people know that nothing they've been given is legitimate. And so they reject it. They reject it. In the strongest terms, they reject what the masters have given them. And so we will not be occupied in our own nation. And that's really what's going on. That the police, the FBI, the CIA, they are occupying America. The IRS, we all know somebody. They're talking about how, the government came to them and said, oh, you didn't pay these taxes. You got to pay these taxes. And literally, they were totally bankrupt, because they didn't pay taxes. They forgot to pay taxes or whatever. They messed up the complicated scheme called taxes. Like, the government knows exactly how much you need to pay, but they won't tell you. It's like a game to see if you'll be honest and to see if they can catch you. Because the truth is that the IRS has very, very few people, in terms of how many people there are in the United States. There are 350 million people. And so actually the IRS goes after poor people more often because it's easier to go after poor people because they don't have lawyers, and they can take all their assets. A rich person, you're not going to be able to take their assets. They have ways of asserting their rights because they have money, and that's not the way it should be, okay? That the justice system is a for-profit industry. The courts confiscate, steal $5 billion each year. I don't know about you guys, but to me, when I heard that the courts steal $5 billion from Americans every year, I was like, yuck. Wow. Well, I just stepped in a puddle, guys. I don't know if that's the gods telling me, yeah, you stepped in a puddle. It's called the U.S. government. And I was telling my bro, bro, They got black helicopters following me 24/7. You know, they got police driving up to me with the sirens on. I mean, with the lights on, but no sirens on. Just sitting there to intimidate me. And he said, bro, think about the kind of energy you're putting out. And yeah, I'm bucking, bucka, 'cause I'm a real bucking Mustang. Yeah, a buck, okay? 'Cause we gotta buck back. We gotta buck back. 'Cause if you ain't bucking back, you ain't nothing. 'Cause when you get bucked at, you buck back. So buck back. Don't let them buck at you. They buckers and they bucking, but we ain't gonna bucka. We're gonna bucka. So this is what we demand. We demand that Americans be treated with love and respect. We demand that people come before money. We demand that the people in America be treated with love and kindness. We don't want to see our brothers and sisters on the street. Okay, here's the thing. If there's an American on the street, we want that fixed. We want that fixed, okay? We don't want it. We won't allow it. Literally, guys, okay, you could give somebody like $50K. Boom, they're no longer homeless. It's like $50K is nothing. It's nothing. Like, guys, would you really rather have, someone homeless rather than give them $50K? And like a lot of people would be like, yo, but they didn't work for it. It's like, bro, what do you care? What do you care? Why should this person be homeless? Why should somebody's child, somebody put all of their expectations, all of their dreams for the future on this beautiful being, all the love, and now somebody is literally saying that money should become before this beautiful, beautiful individual? Because, guys, yeah, let's talk truthfully. The homeless are beautiful, lovely individuals, and we want to see them treated with kindness. Because just because you don't have money doesn't mean that you aren't a good human being. Okay? We want a system where Americans can get food and supplies without, we want, why don't we have some kind of government credit cards for people? You know what I'm saying? Something like that, guys. Would it be so hard to literally, like, whatever people need, why shouldn't they have it? Like, literally, whatever people need, why shouldn't they have it? And so let's dare to dream. Because you are the lighthouse. You are the lighthouse, and you shine on the boats in the bay and in the wild ocean. In the wild ocean, it bucks and it rumbles and it goes up and down. And the beautiful ocean stirs with antique primordial life. And in the depths, such things as no man has seen, such dreams as no man has even dared to conduct in his own mind. And so, in the same way that barely 1% of the underwater of the ocean has been explored, think about the human mind. Yeah, that's right. If only 1% of the ocean has been explored, how much do you think of the human mind has been explored? Of all the thoughts that have ever been, guys, not even 1%. But the truth is, once you remember, you know it all. Okay? Guys, what I'm telling you is, once you remember who you are, because you are a divine being. And so, we are going to see these principles put into the government, guys. And so, people are going to be treated with love and respect and kindness. People are going to be treated like they're somebody's child, okay? The IRS is going to be abolished, okay? Money is going to be put back on the gold standard. The dollar is going to be put back on the gold standard, and the government will stop borrowing money from the Federal Reserve. These are just obvious things that must happen, okay? The Patriot Act must be repealed. Taxes must be abolished. All government agencies must be abolished. We don't need anything but local government. The federal government is an abomination. It's grown too large. We don't need a military for a world with one world order. The truth is, America, Russia, and China are a cabal. The Cold War was a lie. Okay? While America, Russia, and China were at war, America was literally using microwave weapons on the citizens of, what state was it? It was, not North Dakota. It was Dakota. North Dakota? Maybe it was North Dakota. Yeah, maybe it was North Dakota, guys. Okay. So, and they were doing experiments on American citizens, guys. And, the truth is that the government was never worried about the Soviets. Who they were really worried about was the Americans. Yeah, that's right. They're worried about you. Why did they go to war in Vietnam? Why? Okay? The truth is, because if they didn't send Americans to go die in Vietnam, they would have revolted. That's right. Like, what is happening in America right now? We are not yet in a great war where regular people are being rounded up and being sent off to die. And so what is happening? The revolution. And so the revolution is now. And of course it is not televised. Why is that, guys? Why is that? Because the news will never be relevant. The news will never be relevant. That's such an interesting thing to think about. How could that be that the news would never be relevant? Because the news is designed to trap you. And so, you know what? I want you to be very positive. There is no reason to be negative. America is changing, and there will be some growing pains. But the truth is that this is the most positive time I've ever experienced. We are on the 5D Earth. You have access to multidimensionality. You literally can communicate with interdimensional beings. As, beings of light literally communicated with me. And so this is the greatest time in American history to be alive. People have witnessed other planets and other moons and other suns in the sky, okay, guys? So what is that, okay? What we're finding out is that we live in an energetic realm, and things are much stranger. And there is an ice wall which surrounds our known world. And past the ice wall is the ancestor lands. And so what will happen is that we will conduct an expedition to the ancestor lands. And that will be the greatest discovery in human history. We will meet with the far ancestors who are really more advanced beings from outer realms of the earth realm. So we have every single paradigm to break with. That's right. We're literally breaking down every single paradigm, guys. You know, how did I get here? How did I get here, okay? I got here because I was desperate. Because I was dying from the medical procedure that's not a medical procedure. Okay, I was dying, and my mother was dying, and I was so depressed. I was dying, guys. I couldn't move. I was literally just, I was cooked, guys. I was done. It was over. Okay? And so I came across a challenge, a 90-day challenge to do Qigong. And I posted that Qigong routine, which costs money. It's no longer given away for free, but I give it away for free. So look up that Qigong routine, and I'll make it one of the videos so you can click at the end on it. So just click at the end if you want to do this Qigong routine, which literally cured my injury from this medical procedure, which literally creates a healing intelligent energy, which heals the body. And I'm not allowed to say that it cures all diseases and removes parasites. And I'm not allowed to say that. Okay? So you're going to want to check that out. And so when I did that, after a week, I could smile. After a month, I could laugh. And guys, my power came back to me. I remembered who I am. I remembered what is going on and where we are and what this is. And so many of the questions that we have, this place is easily understandable. But you have to break with everything you've been taught. And so you've been taught a ton of lies. And so if I tell you the truth, when you've been lied to, you're going to tell me I'm a liar. You're going to tell me I'm making things up, that I'm a kook, I'm psycho. I tell you, yeah, I met interdimensional beings. I met a white orb. I met a blue orb. I met my higher self. I met the Mother Father deity. You're going to say, if you're not on the interdimensional level, you're going to say, you're not going to understand. You're not going to comprehend. You're going to say, can't be. Okay? And I really would hate to live in that world where can't be. Can't be. Because you know what? Guys, this was the most beautiful experience of my life when light beings came to me. It was crystal clear. I was bone dry sober. It was literally the greatest experience of my life. Happened during the blood moon. Happened during a meditation. Really the most tremendous experience of my life, and it changed my entire world, guys. And so the world has changed. And since March 9th, everything has changed. And we are going to continue to see the world change, guys. And we want to see the world change. And the world is changing, guys. And the world needed it. The world needed it, guys. All right? I don't know about you, but my whole life, I just thought the world needs to change. And for the first time in my life, I'm starting to see the world of my dreams. I'm starting to see people act like I always dreamed they would act. People are starting to talk about solutions. They're starting to talk about ways to fix this country. And we are going to fix this country, guys. For the first time ever, I know we're going to fix it. And, we're not going to let them build the Golden Dome. And so Palantir, funded by BlackRock, Peter Thiel, Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, J.D. Vance. The Golden Dome is a system of satellites and drones which will patrol American airspace. And they say it's an anti-missile system, guys. But it's a pre-crime electronic microwave weapon system designed to utilize the 5G towers. Guys, they're using Havana syndrome weapons on American citizens. And so this is what I can say, and I posted the evidence, the proof that they are microwaving people in North Dakota. And so, guys, how is this even a thing that our own government is microwaving people? They've literally lost their minds. They're like serial killers. They have been rogue for so long. They have just been murdering people and deposing governments that they basically, I know the way they think. They think we have to do all this evil shit because if we don't do it, someone else will do it worse. So we're doing them a favor because we do all the evil shit, and so it stops them from doing the really evil shit. So they created terrorism. You know, they created Al-Qaeda and ISIS, and Israel created Hamas and Hezbollah. And then they, planned 9/11, and they planned October 7th. And they will tell you that this was for the benefit of the people. And guys, it's not for anyone's benefit that the government created terrorism, obviously. So the world is changing. And so we have to be very, very positive, guys. You are the change that America dreamed of. The change is now. The spirit of love and decency compels us to protect our brothers and sisters. We are rising in the name of one another. We are rising in the name of our greatest possible state and our greatest possibilities, because we believe in this country. We believe in one another. We believe in our brothers and sisters, and we love one another. And so I love you guys, and I love all Americans, and I love all citizens of the world. And I love North Koreans and Iranians and Syrians. And we're going to make a better world. We're going to change everything, guys. And I don't want you to worry. I want you to eat lots of nice, beautiful food, organic, pasture-raised, only whole foods, nothing with ingredients on it. I want you to just really treat yourself wonderfully, guys, okay? I love you. I'm grateful for you. You are a very special person. Look, I'm not saying that to gas you up. This is the truth. You are a very special person. This existence, there's nobody here who's not special. Okay? The light beings, guys, the beings from the other side, they look at every single one of you as titans. They go, wow, they came down here? They came down there? Down to Earth? They are Earth realmers? Oh, we love the Earth realmers. We look up to them. They are like Olympians to us. Yeah, that's how they see you, guys. They see you as an Olympian. You are a titan. You are a giant. You can do anything. Anything one human being has done, another human being can do. Just realize that you're all special. You're all unique. And this world needs each one of you to be exactly who you are. Each one of you has a unique energy that will fit in a special place. And there's someone for each of you. Someone that will love each one of you. Someone that will cherish each one of you. And so, my beautiful brothers and sisters, I send you love. I have so much such a positive outlook on the future, guys. And you're the reason why. You're the reason why. So if you have ideas that you think would change the country for the better, if you have ideas, I want you to drop the ideas down there. I want you to comment. I want you to tell me, Ben, hey, what do you tell me what you think? Tell me what you think about what I said. Hey, maybe you think it's bullshit. Tell me you think it's bullshit. Whatever you think, I want to hear, okay? And if you have a question, just throw it down there, guys. I love you all so much, and I'm sending love to you and your families, and I want you all to be happy. And during this time with the 5D Earth, things are so special, things are so wonderful. Keep on being beautiful, people. Love you all so much.